The top 10 Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt sellers list 3019 3-axis mini DIY CNC engraving machine came second with a larger working area that can meet most amateur DIY needs and a 2020 aluminum profile that promises firm construction and reliable operation. In the Encore sale, it will be available at $149. Xiaomi RC drone took first place on the top 10 sellers list with its good performance in every aspect. Petro technology to a new generation of Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt armored vehicles. But gadgetry is only as effective as the people who use it. In the last analysis, the human factor remains supreme, as was illustrated last November when two reality show hopefuls gatecrashed a White House function, penetrating the inner core of the building and shaking Obama's hand. As it happened, they had no malice towards the president, but in the mindset of the mortified Secret Service that didn't matter. They could have done, which on some level is the nature of the beast. Being President of the United States is a high-risk enterprise. As Abraham. Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt. Ladies tee. Long-sleeved. Sweater and hoodie. Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 ladies tee. Ladies tee. Lincoln. Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt. James Garfield, William McKinley, and John Kennedy all found out the hard way. But even more impressive was how the big guy jarred the ground I was standing on and could actually make the ground tremble. You can attribute this to a mix of natural events like storms damaging trees and maybe a bear, but it kind of raises the hackles on your neck. To go back to Sykes, he published his theory about bears and came under immediate skeptical fire. Writing in Skeptical Inquirer, taxonomists Ron Pine and Eliezer Gutierrez strongly dismissed this work, arguing Sykes was relying on a short DNA sequence that was within the variability of modern brown bears. Sykes took a shot in the reply at the overuse of statistics and bioinformatics. And I'm not going to try to work out those arguments, but suffice to say that interest in a potential hybrid bear as the Yeti seems to have dropped off. Some cryptozoologists have complained that Sykes tested only about a third of the good Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt samples, those that were not immediately ruled out on the grounds of unverifiable provenance, obvious artificiality, etc. But Sykes is on solid ground here. He chose the samples that seemed most likely to represent an unknown primate. He wanted to find such an animal. Despite the flaws, this book is an important one. Sykes has taken the best evidence offered by unknown primate hunters worldwide and shown that it is, without exception, not up to snuff. That doesn't mean Bigfoot cannot exist, but it means the bar has been raised. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 long-sleeved. Long-sleeved. And Sykes' work shows we don't have it. A medicine bundle is a collection of sacred objects, mostly natural items securely wrapped together. Traditionally, museums saw the bundles as important artifacts for researchers in the province, helping preserve and tell stories of the First Nations. Museums believed they held the bundles legally. Purchased through Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt documented sales. By protecting the bundles, museums were protecting important cultural heritage for generations to come. Many museums respected the bundles' spiritual power by not putting them on public display. They made the bundles available for native people to visit, occasionally to borrow, but not to keep. The Blackfoot people saw it differently. For the Blackfoot, these bundles were sacred living beings, not objects. They had been passed down from the gods for use in rituals and ceremonies. Their use and their transfer among families was an essential part of community life and connection with the Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951. Shirt gods. The bundles were not objects that could be owned. They were sacred beings, held in trust by different keepers over time. Perhaps the biggest thing, though, is that like Jumpman Jr., the rope issues are mostly fixed. It's still Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 sweater. Possible to fall from them by touching the joystick too soon. But those deaths felt like my fault rather than a fault of the engine. Would I have rated Jumpman better if I had played the Commodore Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 Shirt 64 version instead? I suspect I would, but can't say for certain. I generally play the most original incarnation available. And in Jumpman's case, that was the Atari version, whose rope collision detection soured me just enough that I can't quite say I enjoyed my time here. 1. Which I tried. It's obviously an unfinished game. There's a high scoreboard that you can't ever put your own score on. The visuals and controls are unpolished. Jumpman's falling intolerance is somehow even worse. And his wild pratfall isn't programmed yet. He just falls to the bottom of the screen and turns into a stone cross. But the Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt set of levels, of which there are 6, are for the most part quite different from anything you see in the final product. Level 1 feels like an early version of Jumpman's introductory stage. There are many ways in which an individual Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 hoodie can access his Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt subconscious mind. However, these concepts need little practice before they can become easier and people can achieve some great results. One of the most important ways in which an individual can be sure that he is thinking about constructive things is by leaving reminders. He can put up notes to remind him or add a reminder on his cell phone. It is essential to note down the goals and place them somewhere that is easily seen. For example, a person who is willing to lose weight can place notes in Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt his room so that they remind him of his goals. The idea behind this is that when a person sees one thing many times, the idea of losing weight will keep coming to his mind and he will eventually work towards achieving it. Meditation is also a good way that people can use to get lost in thought. However, before meditating, an individual should have clear objectives and goals and then focus on them through meditation. The individual will be able to visualize achieving his goals and solving his problems in an effective manner. By visualizing, a person is able to put himself in a situation that would like to Rush Limbaugh Rest in Peace 1951 shirt be in. Visualizing further helps to train the brain and make it able to respond to different situations in a positive way. This can help a person to achieve success and become successful in life. After visualizing, the person will want to achieve what his mind has created pictures of, and he will not stop until he has accomplished his goals. While it stops short of declaring a right to be drunk at work. Peru's highest court ruled in January 2009 that a municipal janitor in a suburb of Lima who was fired for allegedly being drunk on the job should be reinstated. The decision generated criticism from Peru's Prime Minister and Labor Minister, who complained that a bad precedent would be set. In the court's estimation, the firing was excessive since, as one justice explained, although the employee was apparently drunk, he did not hurt or offend anybody. Monkeys. Other products.